Government snipers surround this district in Homs. Moving in and out of WAER is severely restricted. According to Human Rights Watch, residents are harassed and sometimes arbitrarily detained when trying to do so. It says WAER has become a prison for its residents. The government wants the fighters inside to lay down their arms, but the opposition wants guarantees.
The government wants defectors to hand themselves in. I'm an army defector and there are others like me. What guarantees do we have that they won't kill us like they did to some fighters in old homes who surrendered?
The state has regained control over much of Syria's third largest city after what it calls reconciliation deals. But the rebels say they had to surrender because the districts were besieged for months. WAER is the last one in rebel hands, and government attacks have intensified there since ceasefire talks collapsed in October. Many civilians have been killed in the densely populated neighborhood, some 100,000 people, many of them who fled from other conflict zones in the city live here, and they are growing increasingly desperate.
Even when we were able to bring in supplies, the so-called blood traitors in the district used to take advantage of our situation. And now there is a government siege and we cannot bring anything in. The people want these fighters to leave. They want this to end.
The government blockade and the intensive shelling have had devastating consequences on the civilians there. What we understand is that the people and not the fighters of WAER are now engaged in UN-mediated negotiations with the authorities. The government says it wants to make a deal, but it has to involve restoring state sovereignty in the neighborhood.
Some supplies have entered WAER since the government imposed a partial blockade late last year, but since November it was tightened, preventing aid from entering. The government has been accused of using starvation as a weapon of war, a tactic that has worked in the past and may work yet again in WAER. ZEINA KHODR, Jazeera, Beirut.